Basically, people are moving from proof of work models to a proof of stake. That's the future. Bitcoin is not blockchain. Blockchain is not Bitcoin. Blockchain is more than Bitcoin. Because I meet people at conferences and they want to try Web3. It's not because of the hype, because they believe in the technology. They know that 5 years down the line, all the big banks will be adopting blockchain at the back office.
Hi everybody, this is Sandy Collins and welcome back to Oz Living, and today I'm so delighted to reconnect with a blockchain expert whom I interviewed way back in 2020 when I was just getting started in a space. So fun fact, she's highly involved with so many projects, very proactive in a space, attending all these prestigious blockchain events, moderating all these panels and hosting webinars on top of building her company, Bitqin Mart, and being the Chief Growth Officer at Yonachain. So Sonny, welcome to Oz.
Hi, Yanni. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak about whatever I'm doing in the space, as you mentioned rightly. And I'm very happy and glad. And this has been the busiest week in Singapore, as you know. So many events and meetups are happening, and it's difficult to take the time out. But I thought no, because obviously I had been interviewed by you before, and I obviously had that relationship with you and Sigma. So yes, I said, why not give it a shot? And so here I am talking to you about what all like happening in the space, the trends, the myths, and what I'm doing right now. So since we spoke last, I think when we spoke last, 2020, right?
Yeah.
I was working with Latoken.
Latoken.
Yes.
So what happened since?
So yes, that's a great question. So I left Latoken back in December last year. And I founded my own exchange. It's called Bitqin. And Bitqin Mart is like a marketplace. So it's a blockchain solution provider company. So if you have anything to do with, sometimes people build a product, but they do not know which blockchain should go into their product, right? So we come as an advisor and we can help you guide through your journey. So basically marketing, PR, token creation, investor reach and all that stuff. So yeah, I founded this Bitqin Mart and incorporated in Singapore, and I'm so excited. I managed to meet a lot of clients through the process, and I really understood their struggles in scaling up and why, even though they have a fantastic idea and a product, but sometimes what happens, you do not have the right people to help you channelize your product, right? So yeah, so that's what I do. I help people, and once you have a brilliant idea, which is like something, so basically it's about the use case of the blockchain, right?
Yes.
As long as the blockchain is solving a problem, underlying problem, and you have built a solution around it, not forcing just a blockchain technology into that business idea, I can help you there, because I still need to see your business model before I can say that's something I'm happy to take up as a project, right? So that's about Bitqin Mart.
Tell me about Yonachain now. What are you doing as a Chief Growth Officer?
So yeah, so Yonachain is a very good project, very close to my heart. So this project is incorporate. Yonachain is a blockchain protocol. It's a layer 1 protocol, and it's registered in Singapore. So they're gonna have a foundation as well here in Singapore. So I'm going to talk more about it.
Okay, so talking about the crypto trends, you've been in the game, in the crypto space long enough to identify all of those. So what have you observed? How has it evolved, and what trends could you identify?
So basically what I have seen this year, the market has matured. People really started understanding the blockchain in the basic form of blockchain, right? So you have a lot of technologies that are solving business cases, like business problems and stuff, but what is blockchain solving? And there are many different types of blockchains, right? So this year, I think everybody's talking about sustainability, everybody's talking about green finance, and blockchain.
Impact funds and
yes,
all that.
yes. So blockchain also has a something called eco-friendly blockchain, as you know. So basically people are moving from proof of work models to a proof of stake models for achieving consensus. So that's the future. That's the trend that I see people are using blockchain technology, proof of stake, to help projects in the space of sustainability, right? And climate change that impacts all of us, right? So these are like carbon credits as well, tokenizing carbon credits as well. So this is something that this year has shown real use cases, because I remember back in 2020 or prior, people used to talk about like tokenizing carbon credits and blah blah, but nobody really thought through how to execute that, how it gets done. But now I've seen a couple of projects that I'm in working with, and they have potential in solving these problems, I would say.
When it comes to like projects that have stood out for you and has like real use cases, can you identify some of those projects? And
I would say I came across a project. So they are building something like a crowdfunding platform, like a Kickstarter platform, but that's built on a blockchain technology. And why that stood out for me, because it's not just a crypto or a token that is used within the ecosystem. They also have a model which is very much efficient in actually solving many traditional problems that we have with a crowdfunding platform. So they are a best of both worlds, I would say. I can't talk much about it, but this is something that I have been working with them, like, fine tuning their business model a little bit as I take them through the journey. But this really stood out for me. Another was the NFT project. When they came to me, I was not very sure. I thought probably it's another NFT project, which is like a big hyped up. But I really saw that they have solutions that can help the hotel industry.
ooh,
Yes, like, we all use conference rooms and hotels for hosting events and stuff like that. So, but there are certain challenges, and this NFT project, they've launched specifically. They're very focused and specific on the hotels, not even hospitality, tourism, and blah blah. Like you see, they're very specific on hotels and restaurants and their business, how to grow their business. So this is something that I'm also like talking to my lawyers and figuring out if this model really works. But the more I research, the more I realize it's something that I think it's going to be a game changer in the hotel stroke restaurant industry if it works out.
that's so good to know. Let me take you back to Yonachain and let us in on what milestones have you achieved for the past year and ever since you take on the role of Chief Growth Officer.
Talking about Yonachain, so I just wanted to highlight this project I'm working on. It's very close to my heart. So it's a cryptocurrency that combines Ethereum's smart contract functionality with the security of Bitcoin's unspent transaction output model. You know, that UTXO. So basically combining Ethereum and Bitcoin technologies together to create a platform that is suitable for adoption by anyone. So it's a proof of stake consensus model for creating new blocks, which is far easier and less energy intensive. As I said, proof of stake is the future, and this is one of the most prominent trends that I see this year. So one of the core element of Yonachain borrowed from Bitcoin is the UTXO model. It's a bit technical. UTXO. So Bitcoin is built on this principle of UTXO, Bitcoin itself. So a sort of accounting system which is used by Bitcoin that provides a high level of transactional security. So obviously there are so many transactions happening on the blockchain, right?
Yes.
And sometimes you must have heard in the news that the exchanges get hacked. A lot of millions of funds got lost. So that feature of Bitcoin that is inbuilt into it is going to be used by Yonachain as well. So the UXTO system provides a type of receipt for unspent coins after a transaction. So Yonachain copied and reworked the Bitcoin's UTXO code for its own platform. A little bit more technical about smart contracts. Yonachain borrowed smart contracts from Ethereum. So Ethereum and Bitcoin, like the two technologies coming together. You know, what are smart contracts? Like smart contracts are blocks of self-executing code. So these are the two technologies that Yonachain is using. Most of the use cases would be more or less similar to Ethereum, right? So whatever use cases, projects you can build on dApps, you can build on Ethereum.
You can build on Yonachain?
Yonachain.
Okay.
Yonachain as well. And some of the first use cases and projects that we're going to launch our NFT marketplace.
Yeah.
And one of the CTO, he works for the government of Iran, and he's already closed deals with government of Iran working on tokenization of real estate, working on agriculture, sustainability. Yeah, so these are the main two projects he's been working on. Besides that, we are going to be introducing NFT marketplace and move to earn. I know that move to earn.
Move to earn.
Yeah, so move to earn.
Expound on that.
So move to earn because the co-founder also has connects to the sports industry in India. So he obviously I can't speak much about it right now because the protocol is still in the works. It's going to get live next month mid. So basically what happens is that we are always active. We are always moving. We have this watch that counts the number of steps. What if the number of steps gets converted into a token and you can cash it out or you can just use it in a marketplace, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll be rich then. I love walking.
Yes.
I love exercising.
Similarly, if you are playing a sport, just imagine you're running. So the number of steps, obviously you collect more tokens. The more you walk in the day, the more you run or you're more active, you shake or you move. So this is going to be collected inside that app.
Okay.
And all these points are stored and gathered, and they can be used within the Yonachain's ecosystem. Either you can buy from the the marketplace from other players, or you can just take it, or you can just spend it, like cash it out.
So many features about Yonachain, but what essentially makes you guys unique?
So while Yonachain borrowed most of its features from Bitcoin Ethereum, so it differs from both much of its bigger competitors in key ways. So to begin with, Yonachain deployed what it calls the account abstraction layer. I think those who code, they would understand AAL technology that enables the use of AAL. It's called account abstraction layer, the technology that enables the use of smart contracts in conjunction with UTXO model. So AAL enables the UTXO and the smart contracts model to interact. Yonachain is also a proof of stake consensus model rather than a proof of work model used by Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is proof of work. Yes. We are proof of stake, the Yonachain. So this makes it easier to mine new coins, right? So Bitcoin's proof of work approach is resource intensive, causing the computer networks mining its coins to consume more electricity. And we are talking about sustainability, climate change, whatever that triggers the climate change. So we do not want to consume more energy, right? So Yonachain is built on the proof of stake consensus, which obviously doesn't require a lot of electricity and energy to be consumed while we're mining the tokens. So this POS approach simplifies the process and results in a much less power consumption.
Amazing. All right, so let's move on to the myths, because I think you recognize the myths that are popping up in the blockchain, and we want to enlighten people about these myths. So can you dispel some of those?
One of the most common myth is Bitcoin is blockchain and blockchain is Bitcoin. Yeah, it's not, right? Everybody knows that now. Now everybody knows that Bitcoin is not blockchain, right? Yes. And blockchain is not Bitcoin. Blockchain is more than Bitcoin. We have so many other chains, right? So that's one of the long-standing myth. I think people till now think when I talk about blockchain, the first word that comes to their mouth is Bitcoin.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, because I guess originally Bitcoin is the frontier. This is the first word that people heard, and I guess it's harder to understand blockchain than Bitcoin, so they just settle with Bitcoin.
Yes.
What else can you tell us about?
Yes, I have seen people saying, okay, I don't want to use a blockchain, it must be very expensive, right? It's a very new technology, it's a cutting edge technology. The developers are expensive, that the developers who work on the code, they are expensive. Their salary, the pay is more than the traditional developers, so it's a very expensive technology, costly, and similarly it's inefficient because we haven't seen much use cases that really works. That's not true. Yeah. So the cost of development has come down drastically since the inception. So now we have people who have moved from the traditional coding to blockchain coding, and we have hackathons. We have people like the big names like Polygon, Solana. They go to universities, they educate the developers, and they give them a free hand, like an opportunity to work develop and code for free on their platform. So to make sure that it becomes like democratizes the whole space. It's not restricted to few people or few talent now. It's accessible to everyone that wants to code.
Interesting. And what about you? What entices you personally? What are you particularly interested about blockchain? Are you into NFTs? Are you into play to earn games? DeFi? What are you passionate about blockchain?
So now it's called Web3. Basically, obviously, it's evolved. I really like the way Web3 promises to solve some of the underlying problems that has not been resolved by the traditional, the TradFi or the traditional finance systems that we have right now, right? Because when I started in the field, I realized my salary moved from Russia to Singapore when I was working with Latoken for in few seconds, right? But if you have a bank in, because obviously I was working for a Russian, so if you have a bank for in overseas and they send you salary to any country, like you're in Philippines and your employers in US and do not have a entity in Philippines, so it's obviously the two banks have to talk to each other. Yes. There's a clearance internally they have to make sure the money is white money and all the stuff, and before it hits your, they have to incur all the costs, the transaction cost. But the beauty about blockchain, I was like really fascinated. Oh my god, within fraction of seconds, no transaction cost, and this is my wallet. Exactly. And it's verified by the transaction code, which is unique. Every transaction is unique on the blockchain explorer, right? Nobody can steal that information. So not only it's like really fast in terms of speed, it also saves you a lot of money, and it's also very secure. Nobody can steal that. So that fascinated me a lot more than whatever you see today. Obviously today it has matured, like people have played to earn NFTs, which is non-fungible. These are fungible currencies. Then you have non-fungible currencies, which is again another. And then we have metaverses. Metaverses are more fascinating because, okay, I think that was discovered during the lockdown in 2020. Like we were all sitting in front of our computer, zooming in, like Zoom calls, and you know what, like every day we had like hundreds of Zoom calls where we had to interact with our with our colleagues globally.
Totally.
So basically, again, we realized that too much of Zoom calls or too much of working remotely can also have impact on your mental wellness, right? So how to make it entertaining, bring in the sports element into it, so you're also remaining fit while you're working with your colleagues, right? Metaverse is all about that. You put in a 3D, like Oculus stuff, and you go into this virtual world, in a 3D world where you actually, your avatar, you can see your avatar and your colleagues' avatars all talking to each other. Facebook,
like I'm gonna be like a banana, dressed up as a banana, or sriracha maybe. Yeah. Okay. That's literally giving like the more immersive, engaging experience as opposed to like meeting in the Zooms where it's
like
awkward.
You're tired. You get tired after a while. Initially it was okay, but after you have like 3-4 calls in a day, you are so like tired. You just don't want to go into another Zoom call, right? But when you have that experience of a game, like gamification, we all love to play games, right?
Totally.
So that changes the game altogether. So I think Metaverse is here to stay because we have seen real use cases. A lot of retail, HMN, like, they have already started with their Metaverse, where like we shop online today, our clothes, right? But it's just 2D. Now you go into Metaverse, you can try that out. Like your avatar goes and tries it out. You have that whole experience instead of going to a very crowded mall and waiting in the long queues to try it out. You can sit comfortably at your home and try that out on your avatar, and probably how it looks on you, right? And then it gets delivered to your doorstep. And again, it's an experience, and many people, probably there are a lot of users who would be using that experience.
Exactly. What the Metaverse and the Web3 is selling, other than use cases, is experience itself, as you said. That is so true. And Sonny, you're such an icon representing the women in blockchain, which is so inspiring. What would be your advice to women who are just getting grounded in the space, who wanted to get a job in crypto but do not know where to start? What would be your best piece of advice?
Oh, yes. I believe that everybody should explore this space. If they're planning to, planning for their new career, a job, like they're looking to do something new, like, I have seen people who have worked in banks, they're tired. I have seen people who have worked wealth management space, they are tired. They want to try something new. And these are traditional businesses because I meet people at conferences and they want to try Web3. It's not because of the hype, because they believe in the technology. They know that 5 years down the line, all the big banks will be adopting blockchain at the back office, right? So the technology is going to power all the banks, and they don't want to miss out on that. It's not about cryptocurrencies anymore. It's about the blockchain technology, right? So they are coming to me and they're asking, I want to sort of get into this field, and they have left their previous job already in the hopes that a lot of jobs out here in the Web3 space. Let me just warn you, do your homework, because not every crypto or blockchain company is a Web3 company. They're probably just a startup who are just starting out, raising funds. So be very careful when you leave one job and are you entering a Web3 space thinking that this is going to give you a very fixed income like your previous job. That may not happen because these are very early stage companies. So try and move into a very matured company if you can. Or if you are an entrepreneurial kind of person who can take risks in life and can help grow the business itself and become a stakeholder of the company, then please do that, because a lot of startups in the Web3 space are very early stage. They are not only looking for employees, they are looking for stakeholders, shareholders, where you equally play a part, so you get a portion of the company's share, right, in the form of tokens or equity or whatever. So figure that out for yourself, do your own research, and this is the place to be in now. If you join now, I think probably 5 years down the lane, you're not going to be sorry about it, I'm sure.
I know, there's never a dull day in crypto. Working in crypto, it is truly the best.
Yeah.
Well, Sonny, thank you so much. I've learned so much from you today, and thank you so much for gracing your presence with us, and let's do this again.
Sure. Thank you so much, Yanni, for the time today, and my pleasure talking to you guys today. I'll be back soon.